Welcome to Care Smarts 360 on Air, home care podcast. I'm Dennis Gill, senior sales consultant at Care Smarts. Video is a secret weapon for senior home care businesses. So, today our topic would be how to boost sales, referrals, and hire top caregivers using the power of video. So, craft explainer videos showcasing your services and client testimonials to boost sales. To generate referrals, create videos featuring your passionate caregivers sharing their experiences. So, this not only attracts clients seeking compassionate care, but also inspires top caregivers to join your team. Ditch static job listings and showcase your company culture and impact through engaging videos to attract passionate talent. Share these videos on social media and your website to connect emotionally, build trust, and stand out from the competition. So, watch your home care business thrive with the power of videos. So, today we have Nick on the panel, who is the owner and founder of the Digital Champions that helps home care businesses leverage social media and video marketing to attract clients and caregivers without spending tons of time or finances. So, welcome to the podcast, Nick.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Same here, same here. We are excited to have a conversation with you regarding this thing, as it could be a very beneficial thing for the agencies, home care agencies that are out there in the market. Okay, so as I've already given a quick introduction about the topic, so I'll straight away shoot my first question to you. So, Nick, how can home care agencies leverage video storytelling to resonate with the specific audiences, like families with seniors needing dementia care versus those needing daily living assistance?
Yeah, so there's kind of a couple questions within that question, but I'll really start with the first one, which is focused on storytelling. And, one of the biggest aspects when it comes to home care marketing is understanding that you offer the same service, right? Home care is home care everywhere. And so we have to think about ways and how we can be different. And I've been in the home care industry for 10 years. I speak across stages all over the country, and whenever I bring this topic up and I say things like, "Hey, what makes you different?" people have the same answers. "Oh, our caregivers are the best," all this stuff. But the truth is, that is not what makes you different. If everyone's saying that we have the best caregivers, then clearly that's not your number one differentiator. And so, if we really want to stand out from your competition and connect with people on a different level, we have to do that through storytelling, specifically sharing your why and why you got into this business. Simon Sinek, if you've ever heard of the book Start With Why, he talks about people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. And when these home care agents, when your prospective clients, as well as caregivers, as well as referral sources, are looking for people to partner with, to be part of, to join your team, they're looking for something deeper, something that they can connect with someone on emotional level. And I've been very privileged to be able to talk to so many agency owners all over the country that have incredible stories about why they got into this business. And so simply by taking the time to record your why, to share it in an authentic and personal way of just really, hey, this is me. This is why I started the business. And look, I know a lot of people started the business, hey, like I want to personal freedom, all that kind of stuff. But we're really leaning into the emotional connection. Like, were you a caregiver at one point? Did you have an experience with, your own parents that made you want to go through this, good or bad? Or, maybe you had a dementia experience and, you really wanted to support that community. And so by sharing your why, it becomes one of the most powerful tools that you can use and leverage. And one thing that's really important about how we understand and leverage video. A lot of times when people think about video, they think it's, oh, I'm just going to post this one video on social media. No, that's not what we do at Digital Champions. That's not what we focus on. It's how are we creating assets that you can use and leverage again and again. And this why video is so powerful where you can put this in your caregiver automation. You put it on the front of your website. You add it to your email signature. You add it to your LinkedIn page where it's front and center. You add it to your Facebook page. You pin it to the top. You send it to every single prospect that comes into your circle. And my clients that are leveraging and utilizing this, they send it to people and people sign up. They send it to the caregivers, they sign up. It is a sales conversion tool because it's personalized. It makes you different. people say things like, I want to work for a company like you, or I've been looking for a company like this. The more you share your why, get that personal touch, the more you're going to generate more sales, hire more caregivers, and attract more referral sources.
Got it. Got your point. Yeah, and you're absolutely correct in saying that because as I've been involved in this industry for the past some time now, I have seen the agencies, new agencies mostly that are starting up, that they tell me that they were either the caregivers earlier on or they started with their own family members. So I've been through that thing. There are many agencies they do start with these two things, mainly that I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay. No, thank you for letting us know about that. And secondly, beyond engagement, what key metrics or tracking methods do you recommend to assess the effectiveness of video campaigns in driving sales and referrals for home care agencies?
Yeah, there's a few pieces to this question, and it's a great question because a lot of times people want to know. It's like, hey, what's the ROI, right? People want to know how they're going to get the most out of creating content as they're leveraging this. The first part really is understanding that this is a sales tool once you've created this video, and so when you add this to your website, you're going to be able to track, hey, how many people are we currently getting converting
Hmm.
from our viewership on our website to how many people are now opting in now that we've added the video. And so if you're tracking those metrics, that's a great way to determine whether or not the video is actually driving more results into the business. Another aspect that's a little bit harder to quantify is simply just like word of mouth, where you'll find people saying things like, "Oh, I saw your video. Oh, I loved your video." They don't always bring it up, but what I'll actually have a lot of my clients sometimes when somebody calls, they're like, I saw the video on your website and it made me want to choose you. And so they'll actually say it. So if you're
Hmm.
tracking the leads coming in, that's another way, just through your inquiry process and saying, hey, like, did you see the story about our owners and how they got started, right? And so that's a great way to kind of also interpret how well this video is being leveraged and utilized. The third part is really through advertising. And so some of my clients have leveraged and utilized, whether they're advertising on Facebook or on YouTube, and then being able to then track those analytics specifically in those advertising campaigns. And so when you're leveraging it, hopefully you're driving to some type of form, or you're driving to a way that you're able to track it through the advertising metrics and however you're using and leveraging it. So that's a great way. I mean, it's like, hey, we spent this money. How many, leads did we generate for it? Can be very easily measured. So a lot of your ROI on video is going to be determined on how well you leverage it once you've
Hmm.
created it. Because sometimes people just make a video and they're like, all right, I got this video. And then they don't actually know what to do with it. That's a big thing that kind of separates us, where we don't consider ourselves like a video marketing agency. Like, we're focusing on strategy, how we're leveraging this content that's going to drive the greatest results, because I know home care, I know your businesses, and I know what drives the greatest results. And so how you use your video is going to be a big factor in how many leads, how many caregivers, how many referral sources you get, based on you making sure that you're putting it out there on a regular, consistent basis.
Got it. Got it. Got your point. Got your point. And the next thing that I wanted to ask you, mainly you have answered already about that part, but maybe if you could want to add something to it, that how the video can be used to effectively build trust and credibility with potential clients considering home care services. I know you answered some of that part, but if you could add something to it from your side.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the why video, right, is one video that can help to building trust and really breaking down these walls to create that know, like, and trust. The other aspect is creating content around education. One of the number one things, I mean, I'm sure you guys are listening, this. There's a huge, massive lack of education in the home care space. I mean, even, doctors don't even know the difference between home care and home health, right? And so how can we build this trust? We want to showcase that we're the expert. Anyone can, use AI and create some posts and share some tips on social media, but it takes a whole different thing to get on camera and actually talk about these educational resources. And this allows you to in addition to kind of build off of what you want to brand yourself as. And so not only are we creating educational to build that trust, like, hey, this person knows what they're talking about, but you can take it one step further based on content that you want to be known for. And so if you want to be known for being a dementia expert, well, then we're going to lean more towards creating content specifically around dementia. Maybe it's, how to better communicate with your loved one with dementia. Hey, here are some activities to do with someone who has dementia. And so now, when they see that, and you're saying, hey, we specialize in dementia, and then boom, you've got all of these videos that specialize in dementia, you're showcasing, hey, we really are the experts, and we're going to prove it, and we're going to showcase that. And so building this content of really leaning into education is one of the most effective ways to market your business. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making on social media when it comes specifically with home care business, they're constantly posting, oh, this is our services. We do this, we do this. That is not good marketing. Social media is not a billboard. It's not about posting your services. It is about being a resource. It's about building community. It's about providing value. And so education is a great way to create really great content that people actually want to share, that people want to watch, that can truly make a difference. And so the more that you really leverage these educational resources, the more impactful it's going to be. And what I do with my clients, like we leverage YouTube because that's the biggest, in my opinion, the best social media site that's often underutilized. And the
Mhm.
main reason is because when you think about social media, you post a video once, it goes to the newsfeed and it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas with YouTube, you can have one video that stays on there that just keeps getting seen by more and more people. And I have clients with content that have like 10,000, 20,000 views on specific topics and education. Now, I share those views not to be like, hey, look what this person, or hey, this is what you can expect, because that's not necessarily a normal result that we see unless you're putting advertising dollars behind it. But for them to generate this amount of views organically, it is a direct representation that there is a massive lack of education and that people need and want to watch and consume this content, whether it be about bathing with dementia or conversations with the elderly. Those were two of the topics that performed very well. And so when we think about that hey, there's this huge need, you're now able to leverage these resources in multiple aspects. So not just from getting discovered maybe organically on YouTube or on social media, but now you can leverage it within your internal team. So when someone comes to you and they say, hey, my mom, we're really struggling, with dementia, we're here to help you, but also we have some resources on our YouTube channel that you can go check out on your own time to really watch and help you to better communicate with your loved one. And so now you've got these sales tools, right? Again,
Yeah.
it's not about like, hey, let's get tons of views. It's about making sure that the people that are already coming into your funnel, that are coming into your circle, that are finding you, that you're now leveraging these tools and utilizing them to drive greater sales and conversions, to build that trust and get them to go with you over the company down the street.
Got the point. Got the point. And the next thing is also an extension of this question only that we were just discussing now. That what are some of the tips to help caregivers feel comfortable and confident on camera that we were just talking about when they're creating video testimonials or recruitment content?
Yeah, and so when it comes to the video content, right, a lot of this is going to be focused around maybe the owner or the marketer. Generally, I like to lean towards the owner creating content. However, I know, right, that recruitment is a huge aspect
Yeah.
of driving, home care results. Like, hey, you may have tons of clients like Nick. I don't need more clients. I need more caregivers, right? And so when we think about, hey, what's the best way to convert people in any metric, right? What do you do when you go to Amazon? You look at the reviews, right? When
Yeah.
you're looking for a restaurant, you go to the Google reviews. People are always looking for reviews. And so when you're trying to attract top tier talent, reviews are your best way to converting these individuals, these people that are coming into your team. And so what I do with my clients is, and what I recommend that you can do without me, is just recording testimonials of your existing caregivers. And
Okay.
so when you're able to do this and leverage this, you're now having real people, real caregivers talk about how great your organization is. Now, this only works if you actually have a good organization and you take care of your
Yeah.
people and they have
Wonderful.
nice things to say about you, right? And so that's an important aspect of how we're able to get these testimonials. But one of the things when it comes to, at least when I'm working with my clients, that helps the caregivers be a little bit more comfortable, few things, right? One, we pay them for their time, so that's part of it, and most states actually require men that. Two, we give them the questions ahead of time, so if they want to review or prepare some of the questions, then they have that. It helps them to kind of think about what they may want to say.
Yeah.
And then the third part is really we edit the content. And so if you tell the caregiver, hey, don't worry, we're gonna edit out any mistakes or things that you make. So don't worry about messing up. We're only gonna be taking the best things that people say. And that's the same thing we do with our owners and our clients is like, hey, you never have to record a video in one take when you work with me. It's like we're editing the videos. You don't have to try and do it all in one take or worry about messing up. I mean, my clients mess up all the time, but the finished result is flawless because of just having some simple editing that can
Editings.
really help with that. But really leveraging, right, regardless of whether you're editing testimonials or working with me, and again, I don't want this to be a sales pitch, but it's just like get more testimonials, period. That means Google reviews, that means caregiver testimonials. This is one of the best ways to drive so many results in your business. And when you have a ton of great testimonials from your caregivers, that's going to help you to attract more of the top tier, the great ones, the best ones, because they're applying to six other companies out there. And
Yeah.
so we have to differentiate ourselves because having a position, right? This is what I always say. Hey, we're hiring. Great. So is everyone. That's not going to help you to get more people. We
Yeah.
need to be very intentional about our marketing, understanding that recruiting is sales. And so the language that we use, the copy, the verbiage, the videos we create need to be very intentional from a marketing effort. We can't just, create anything. Oh, we're hiring, and I see this with flyers and social media posts that are just not thought out, just posting just something. Oh my God, like and it screams desperation, when you see some of the content that's being shared. And so
Yeah.
we really want to come from this place as like, hey, we are the best. We've got the best caregivers. Here's what they're saying. They love working for us. And I know that you're going to love working for us too.
Got it, got it, got it, got it. Yeah, obviously, I think these points will definitely help the home care agencies, the owners that are listening to our conversation now. And hopefully, it would give them an advantage on that thing from the other agencies that are not able to hear us.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So, lastly, one last thing from my side, one last question. That is, can you share a framework to develop a comprehensive video content strategy for the home care agencies, considering different video types and distribution channels?
Absolutely. Excellent. So I'm going to break this down in a few parts. So the first thing is really thinking about your framework for how you create videos. And this is the framework that I follow. It was taught to me by the Harmon brothers, who have some really amazing commercials. If you've ever seen the Squatty Potty or Poopery or Purple Mattress, very famous YouTube videos you can go check out that have millions of views. They
Mhm.
were created by this Harmon brothers. And so I've kind of tweaked their formula to kind of tailor it, simplify it a little bit more. And so every video that we create, I use this with social media posts, I use this with email marketing, and it's called the message formula. And so
Okay.
it's focused on the first thing is the hook. How are we drawing people in, building curiosity for people to want to watch more, listen more, to keep reading, whatever it may be. The second thing is address the problem. Why should they even be listening to this? What problem are you solving for them in the content that you're about to deliver or the solution that you're about to provide? And so we need to make sure if we want to attract people, we need to solve their problem. This works for caregivers as well. Like, what problem are you solving for caregivers by them coming to work for you? And so understanding these key elements by starting with the hook, addressing the problem, now we're pulling them in more. Now you go into the solution. This is where you provide the meat. This is where most of the content, the education, and everything from the tips and what you're doing to help solve their problems. Because one thing to remember when it comes to home care is like you're not selling your business. You should be selling home care, selling why caregivers are effective in the home. And then you're like, hey, we can help you do this. But the goal is actually to sell home care, not sell your home care business. That's a whole other way, again, of understanding marketing. A great example of this, sorry, I'm going on a little tangent here, but there's an ad. I live in San Diego, and it's my
Uh-huh.
favorite sunscreen company. And there's a big billboard. I even took a photo on it. It says, we don't care what sunscreen you use, just use sunscreen, or something along those lines, right? And
Oh,
so
okay,
the
okay.
advertised is focused on, hey, just, yeah, I think it said, you don't have to use ours, just use sunscreen. And I
Oh, okay.
love this ad because, right, they're selling sunscreen, not
Yeah,
their sunscreen. They're just
not their
saying, hey,
product. Yes.
protect your skin, make sure you're wearing sunscreen. And so, again, that's a really strategic and smart way to market. So now that you've got this like message formula, and I talked already a little bit about the different types of videos, right? Your why video, your recruitment video, and then leaning into education, right? And so that's kind of like the series. I like to think about it as connection, right? And education and social proof. And so those are kind of like the three main different types of content that we're creating. And then the distribution channels. So one thing that has really stood out and it has been become very clear to me. If you guys remember, you may laugh at this. If you remember Vine, right? And people always laugh and are like, "Oh my God, Vine, yeah, how about that?" Right? And the thing to understand about Vine is that what was it? It was a video platform, even though it doesn't really exist anymore. No one's using
Mm,
Vine. There's newer platforms like TikTok that are coming out. Although to say TikTok's not really coming out anymore, it's the top platform and doing very well from a social media
yeah.
perspective. But the reason I bring it up is because we need to understand that these social platforms are going to change. I remember when I got onto Facebook and I had an older brother and I got onto Facebook and he's like, "What are you doing on Facebook? That's only for college kids." And so, a lot of things have changed. Right now, people say, "Oh, Facebook's only for older people." Side note,
Yeah.
Facebook is still a great platform. But the point is that social media platforms are going to continue to change and evolve. So making sure that we're using and leveraging the medium that is video. And then once we're leveraging the medium and creating this content, then we want to make sure that we're leveraging and sharing it everywhere because it's like, hey, we're already creating this video. We might as well post it across platforms. And so I touched on YouTube already. Again, YouTube is different from every other platform because it's a search tool. So when people are
Hmm.
looking for services, having YouTube videos on your website helps with SEO. That becomes a really important aspect. And if you have one good video on YouTube, it can actually just bring more people to then watching your other content, whereas that doesn't happen on a lot of the other platforms. The other one I recommend very strongly from a social media perspective is LinkedIn. Most home care agencies are not leveraging and utilizing LinkedIn that they should because that's where your referral sources are. And so when they're showcasing yourself and you're saying, hey, I'm an expert and you're proving it and you're showing your face again and again, right? You spend all this time and effort developing referral sources, going to these people's offices, trying to schedule meet and greets, coffees, lunch and learns, all of those things. And so when we can also show up in front of them on their newsfeed, and one more touch point, one more way to leverage it. The other thing with LinkedIn is understanding that there's actually a higher income of LinkedIn users. And so the average income generally is like 40,000 on Facebook, whereas LinkedIn it's 70,000. And so knowing that if you're doing private pay home care, you're looking for people that can afford your services, that have the resources to afford care. And so expanding your network on LinkedIn, making sure that people know who you are, right? That means connecting with old high school people, college people, people in your network, people you go to church with, connecting with everyone that could potentially be a client as well, so that you're really leveraging that network that is LinkedIn, and also understanding that it is the number one professional network, right? And so LinkedIn in itself is already a really impactful aspect in how you're leveraging it and utilizing it in your business, where you can get in front of more people. And then, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok are other ways where you can put it out there, but the algorithms become really tricky. Like the Facebook algorithm for business pages and Instagram has become really poor, where you're just not getting much reach as you used to. And so to really leverage platforms like Facebook and Instagram, they tend to be more impactful by leveraging like your personal Facebook pages. And so if you do have a personal Facebook page that you're sharing some of your content, not all of your content, but if you're making some videos that you're sharing that to your personal pages and just saying like, hey, here's some education. Like you should want to share the things that are being posted on your social media if they're valuable. If you don't want to share what's being posted on your social media, then it's probably not good content. And so that's
Yeah.
a great way to think about like, hey, am I posting good content on social media? Well, do I want to share this? Do I think other people would want to see this? If not, then maybe it's time to rethink your strategy. But generally, I like to have a well diversified portfolio of different social media platforms. But again, like I said, to kind of just sum it up, big fan of YouTube and LinkedIn really being key. And then I would probably say Facebook like number 3. And then, yes, you can have a TikTok and stuff. But again, it's not going to drive crazy results. Whereas, the top 3 are going to be much more impactful in driving your ROI.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Nick, for sparing your time today and sharing very detailed and great insights. And I hope this is pretty helpful for our audiences, and I'm sure they found this useful. So, and thank you all for tuning in. Until our next episode, this is Dennis Gale signing off. Bye bye, everyone.